Ciao Juventini of the world. Hello to everyone. Guys, the first question we had here is, was Christine Cupo late? No, she was not late. It's my fault, guys, because it's long time ago that I...
Thank you.
No, Adam, we knew. He already told us that it would be a bit late. He was actually anticipating, according to normal time, because he said 10 minutes. But it's long time ago that I didn't see Adam and Christine, and backstage we were talking a bit. How are you doing, guys? I'm super happy. Ciao, Christine. Ciao, Adam.
I was excited to do this today. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I just wanted to hang out, but Jay Turek, all of the familiar names in the chat, hello. I've missed you all terribly. I hope you've been vibing and surviving this season.
Oh, I hope the chat is doing. I am surviving, but I know someone who is a bit annoyed momently. Ciao, Adam.
I'm not annoyed, not yet. Give me 5 minutes, maybe.
Let him get warmed up.
Yeah.
I saw that even winning you were not satisfied, Adam. I believe that it will be a spectacular live today because we have a lot of things to catch up.
That's because as a professional, you have to analyze the performance, not just the result, right? The scoreline is not the only score.
But then you have a really bad coach this season, because this guy behind me is saying we don't care. It's just the result that counts, and we are first of the group in Champions League.
We do have a bad coach. But we also had this problem last season, so this has become our legacy problem. Okay,
yeah,
this isn't any different from Pirlo's season, whereby we had some very ugly matches that did not look like the overall fabric of what should be Juve, but still winning matches. So you take one or the other, and sometimes you get both. But I don't want this to continue to be something that we get used to as supporters, fans, as a club, all in. It's perplexing, truly.
But now it is Allegri out, but then we will do a documentary of All or Nothing, and then it will be oh, poor Allegri. We want Allegri in, no?
Absolutely not. I was in the minority last season when we came to an end, right? And we said, oh, hey, lovely friends, followers, and just mortal enemies. Well, who do you think should still be sort of at the helm here for Juve? And I said we should stay the course with Pirlo, allow him to figure out if he can do what he wants to do without the peak pandemic occurring, without some of the other nuances that were happening for an unseasoned manager, for a man who literally got his badges in 3 weeks and wrote an entire thesis, without the support, which we learned in the long run financially, because obviously we have the defunct Super League now. Those myriad of things, I said we should have stuck with Pirlo. The man still managed to pull through. Was it beautiful? No. Was it always enjoyable? Also no. But we weren't in the position that I feel like we are now. We're, I think, 5 years at least in that we need to dig ourselves out of, and we keep putting Band-Aids on actual problems instead of fixing them.
Hey guys, something totally different. I was not even listening to Christine, to be honest, but I was trying to figure out what better layout. This one is nice. I like. Do you like the portrait mode or the landscape mode, Christine?
I hate you so much.
No, I was listening. Oh, you know what?
I was listening and I was agreeing. I was listening and I agree. To keep with tradition, everybody agree with Christine. No, but
I only agree to come on when Adam's also on, so that we can just tag team Beppe and beat him up a little bit.
Okay, so 2 things. First of all, the Juventus documentary All or Nothing really made me laugh, because they didn't win everything, but they didn't win nothing either. And the only person who got all or nothing was Andrea Pirlo, because he didn't win everything. He doesn't get anything. And you say about the difference between this season and the last season. For me, the difference was Pirlo had a plan to make it different. And as Beppe has already said, Allegri's plan is, we played like shit, but we won, so who cares? Like, and that has a place. Absolutely, that has a place. But in the elite level of football, the teams who were going to be in the Super League, how many of them play that way? Juve. And that's not how you be successful at this time. I tweeted about it yesterday that Beppe's already alluded to, but you look at what Fiorentina are doing, what Hellas Verona are doing, what Atalanta are doing. That's how football is changing. That's where football is going. Give or take a few nice shoulder checks from Chelsea women's team. The direction that football is going, had to get that in. the direction that football is going is to that more modern style, and Juve are getting left more and more behind as we move away from that. And you can say, oh, Hellas haven't won anything, blah, blah, blah. They all have a plan, those teams, of how they're going to get better. Fiorentina have won as many games this season as they did last season. They're level on points with Juventus. Atalanta have beaten Juve, and they're above Juve. Hellas have beaten Juve. You know, these teams have a plan. Hellas have beaten Juve, I might add, with Igor Tudor, who was in Juventus all or nothing, but never got mentioned by name at all. Even though he was clearly there, clearly talking, clearly part of the process. He never got interviewed. His name was never spoken, even though at the very start of the season covered by All or Nothing, technically he was the Juventus coach because he was the one with badges.
Right.
And Pirlo wasn't. Pirlo
we
was
talked a little bit about this, but there seemed to be a significant amount. I thought about it after you and I had talked about it, Adam, that there's been significant revisionist history as far as what's been portrayed in All or Nothing. That doesn't take away from what they actually did put together. It's lovely. But there's a lot that they like dressed a lot up and kind of...
Adam, how many times did you watch it? Just one time per episode, or you watch it really 2-3 times?
One time. I only need to watch it. It's like the match. I watched it. It's over. Let's go, move on. But it was really good, and it gave us a lot of insight into the characters and some of the people behind the scenes that Beppe has spoken to and that I've spoken to as well. And it was great to see them get a little bit of chance to shine and show what they do. But it showed a lot of other things too, like how far the club, let's be honest, bent over backwards for Cristiano Ronaldo when you've got the social media guy going, oh, he's coming. We've only got 10 minutes. And if that's how it is, that's how it is. But whatever, you know, and
I agree. I think that you definitely are the expert in terms of Allegri specifically, but I obviously have very strong opinions about him. And one of those is, depending upon which camp you set up on Twitter, is popular or extremely unpopular, is that I just think that he's very rigid. He has a very specific style. And as much as he's acknowledged that the game has evolved, he has not been capable of rising to that occasion. I think that he is what he is, and irrespective of how much he can say, like, yes, I see this, I know that the game's changed and whatever, I don't think that he has the capacity to actually be that manager at this point. To other managers' credit, like Gasparini is kind of amazing.
I don't
what
like
he's done
Gasparini.
For Atalanta. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can say nice things about people that I might not be massive fans of because
Gasparini is great. I wouldn't want him as a Juventus manager.
But it's kind of funny to watch some of these other teams that, like, you know, best they've ever done is like finish third, and yet they still seem to have more of a fire and just like tactical intelligence in contrast to
They've
what
also
we have
done better than Juve in Champions League the last two seasons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
sorry, yeah.
Happy
because
birthday.
today
Happy
I don't
birthday.
even have the chance to say something. But
Buon compleanno.
happy birthday, Roberto! Happy birthday, Roberto! Look at that. That's great. Oh, look who's there. We even have Manfredi Mon Amour. He's saying, hi, I am new to YouTube, but she's always right. Ciao, Paolo. Ciao, Paolo.
Ciao, Paolo. So,
Paolo.
to go back to what Christine was saying about Allegri, the thing that really annoys me, okay, I love the guy. I think he's brilliant. The way he speaks to the press is fantastic. What I don't understand is, if we go back to 2014 when he first took over from Antonio Conte, he carried on with Conte's tactics for a little while, and then Juve lost to or drew with Olympiacos in Champions League, and then he changed and he went to the 4-3-2-1 with Tevez and Vidal behind Morata or Llorente a little bit as well, and then with the MVP of Marchisio, not the MVP. The Marchisio, Pirlo, and Pogba, it would have been in the three. And Juve played some really vibrant, attacking, up-tempo football. And that's how they got to Champions League final. And then he reinvented everyone, for everyone who says, oh, he only built on what Conte did, blah, blah, blah. That summer, those key players left. Juve lost Pirlo, they lost Vidal, they lost Tevez, and Allegri built a new team and got to the Champions League final with a new team, playing great football. When Juve went to Cardiff in 2017, they were playing the best football of anybody in Europe. Alexandro was incredible at fullback. Juve were getting forward, they were attacking, they were playing great stuff. You remember they destroyed Monaco in the knockout phase of the Champions League with a wonderful goal from Higuain with Dani Alves strongly involved. Then they took a real kicking in Cardiff and we got the Allegri that we see today. So to me, he's not a limited coach. He does understand the way that modern football is played. But for whatever reason, he's coaching scared. And that's why it annoys me, because I know he's better than that. If he was Beppe Iacchini, then okay, that's who he is. But this isn't who Allegri is. And that's why it annoys me so much.
But that's the big question I had. I had one question because I knew that as soon as the live would start, I would not even have the time to say hello, that we would jump on
without this for a season. We had to just stay out.
I know.
A lot to say.
But my big question is, because I know Allegri as well, is he acting like that because he's trying to limiting the damage of the team that he has at his disposal? Or do you think it's a mix and it's not only the team at disposal but also him that is really stubborn and that wants to prove a point that his way is the way to win?
I think it's probably both at the same time, but this is the issue now. The mentality in football used to be, we'll keep it 0-0 and hopefully score on the break and win 1-0, but at least we won't lose. Everybody else now is thinking, our defence is rubbish. If we score 2 or 3 goals, we might not lose. So Juve need to be able to score 2 or 3 goals. And if you're playing the way Juve played last night against a team that, and for all the people who in my mention saying, oh, they played great, they could have won 4 or 5-0. It was Malmo. With all due respect, it was Malmo and it was 2-0. Okay, maybe it should have been 4.
1-0. 1-0.
For a lot of things lately.
It was 1-0. Like, I can't even get the score right.
Look at who we've lost to. But again, this is also stuff that we saw happen last season where it was no rhyme or reason. Remember, we were over-undering for a lot of matches where it was like, you think we're going to win this? And it's like it's an Inter match. And it's like, oh, we're going to lose that, but then like, or no, we're going to win that, but then lose to like
Benevento. Like, yeah, it's crazy. but now the problem is that we're drawing with Benevento and still losing to Inter. It's that negative approach it's finished in football. It's finished. You can't play that way because those are the teams, as we saw when Juve played Hellas or we saw when Juve played Atalanta. That's the way that they play. And it'll be, Juve are top in the Champions League group. Look what happened when they played Chelsea, the real Chelsea, the second time around.
Right. The first one was also the real Chelsea, Adam. We won and then we lost massively.
The first one was Chelsea playing the way that Juve play. It was Tuchel thinking, oh, okay, let's try and keep it tight. And Juve won. The second time, he's like, we can't play that way because we won't win. Look at them go. And those are the top teams that Juve are going to come up against. Those coaches, Gasparini, okay, we don't like him, but he plays that way. Simone Inzaghi is playing that way. Klopp definitely plays that way. Tuchel plays that way. Everybody does. And if you're playing to hopefully win 1-0, you're not winning. Who are you beating 1-0? PSG? No.
I have a hard time with the believe in Allegri, give him time. Like, this isn't our first rodeo here with him. It's for him, it really is all or nothing this go around, because if he doesn't do something remarkable, then we've just wasted a bunch of years and a bunch of money for nothing. Not that we can go back and have a different sliding doors episode whereby this doesn't happen. Guys. But unfortunately, what you want to see is a forward trajectory to prove that you made maybe not the worst business and management decision.
It's a long contract, 4 years with
it's insane. It's insane.
It is. But the only thing I would say is that length of contract gives Juve some stability. Okay. Juve they're gonna be in Champions League with Allegri. We know this.
I agree. I agree with you as long as they do not get, in my opinion, impulsive again and do something like they pulled with Sarri. I refuse to believe that was calculated.
Impossible.
You know what I mean? Like, I hope that we've learned something from our errors
And I
in
think
that if we commit to this, then we really are committed to this, and we're not going to just have a knee-jerk reaction because
But
we
look,
never have
we
it.
try to go towards that European football with Sarri, with Pirlo. Unfortunately, we never built the team for these trainers, and we had a problem.
That's true.
I
That's
think.
true because you look what with Sarri and everything he does, it's built around that Jorginho figure in the middle. Arturo came a season too late. You look at the way that Pirlo played. He got the players. We needed to make some more changes and everything else. The only thing is, and I disagree here with Tarek. And to go back to Rambo's point earlier about giving Allegri time, Allegri is the one manager where when you've got Sarri or you've got Pirlo, you're looking at this slow upward curve of building something and getting there slowly, and it gets better week after week after week. That's the kind of improvement you're looking for. With Allegri, we've seen this before. I referenced the 15-16 season and 14-15 as well. He sticks with a certain way that looks stubborn and looks wrong, and then all of a sudden he changes it and they go. And we saw that in his first season. We saw that in 16-17 when he changed to the 4-2-3-1 with Mandzukic out to the left. So with Allegri, it is all or nothing, I guess.
Can I ask you, Christine and Adam? I have an idea, but maybe I'm wrong. Huh? Why Allegri has been brought back? First of all, because there was not that much on the market. If we are honest in terms of coaches, that's one. Then you can be creative or not. But I believe that he has been taken because we already kind of knew that Ronaldo would have left. Kind of. It was not 100% sure, but that was the possibility. And we wanted a coach that was able to be, that kind of media protector wall that say, okay, give it to me. I can catch up the loss of Ronaldo first. Two,
we
because
went back to our...
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. The second one is because I believe also it's a coach that is able to adapt to the players that he has. And he already proved that he can play with a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 3-5-2. He can play in different style because he adapt to them. Yeah, with Rabiot on the wing, I know. On the left wing. The problem is that Rabiot is not adapting, but Allegri is adapting. No, but I believe that, the fact that he is someone experienced that already won with Juve, that knows the world, that could catch up the loss of Ronaldo, and being adaptable because we knew that we would not have had the opportunity to do a big mercato. These are the reasons. Am I wrong, Christine and Adam?
I mean, not to oversimplify. Let Adam talk first.
And by the way, first, when we see these kind of color message, I really thank everybody, guys. I don't want always to interrupt Christine and Adam, but also thank you to everyone in the chat. So at least you know.
Yeah, I want to think that Juve looked at what happened over the past 2 years, realized that trying to be everything all at once wasn't working, and they went back to Allegri kind of because it's safe or because he's a guarantee or all of that. But I just have this nagging feeling somewhere that they tried to go back to Allegri after Sarri and he said no, so they just gave the job to Pirlo, who they'd given the under-23 job to. And then after a year, Allegri said, oh, Ronaldo's leaving. Oh, okay, I'll come back then. And I just wonder if they really wanted to get Allegri to replace Sarri last year and he turned them down and then came back again. Because what else makes sense? Because you had Allegri and winning the Scudetto wasn't enough. So you get Sarri because you want to play entertaining football and become a brand that will capture children's imaginations and get a whole new generation of fans who only watch the game on TikTok because Andrea Agnelli is obsessed with the new generation of fans who don't sit and watch 90 minutes, which, fine, if that's the direction you want to go, cool. But then you go with Pirlo because that's a continuation of that, because he's a guy who understands Juve, all of that. Then Allegri, what are you saying there? You're saying you were wrong 2 years ago and you should never have changed because you won the Scudetto with Allegri, you won the Scudetto with Sarri, but you changed. And obviously we know as a fact, Sarri was removed because the senior players didn't like him. We're not sure if senior players is Chiellini and Bonucci, or it's Chiellini, Bonucci and Ronaldo, or what it is. But
Ronaldo never get along with Sarri since the beginning.
No,
You remember
no.
the drama when he was subbed out versus Atalanta, and then
and he was also screaming at Allegri because the team weren't pushing up; they were sitting deep. So maybe he liked Pirlo, and then he decided to leave because it didn't work. We saw on All or Nothing again. We saw Ronaldo's reaction when they were eliminated from the Champions League. I think if you wanted to be cynical, you could say he decided then and there that his Juve career was over right in that moment, because look at how he played in the league games after that. You look at the very end of the game against Bologna, he's not on the field. You look at when they needed a goal in the game before that, and he was subbed off when Juve needed a goal. So clearly Pirlo decided something else. Allegri is back for stability, isn't he? Whether that's on the field, in the press room. Again, you look at the way that they made up. If we look at the fact that, as Christine said, the All or Nothing was certainly massaged to be the club's version of events, the club's truth, which absolutely they're right. It's their club, do what you like. What is the other reason for putting in all those meetings with Christine, with Gabriella and Claudio Albanese, explaining to Pirlo what to say to the press? If you'd make that documentary again, you're not showing a scene of them telling Max Allegri what to say to the press. You wouldn't do that to Max. But so what message are you sending there, And all of that matters. All of that's important. And the visual of having, as Beppe said, Max Allegri back to take the blame. I'm blaming him, absolutely. And that he becomes then the target for everybody, and that leaves the young players to get on with what they need to do. It lets everybody else get on with the job that they're supposed to do. And I think that the other thing I just want to clear up before moving on about comments like that, about you could bring Pep Guardiola, is absolutely, yes, the squad is flawed. The squad is flawed. The squad has problems. Alvaro Morata right now couldn't body check a pitch invader at a women's Chelsea game. He'd miss.
Sam Kerr Hive, assemble.
He'd miss the guy. The guy would just run straight past Morata. He can't hit anything. He doesn't have the confidence.
Morata would already be offside. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, and he'd be offside. But all of those things are true. You can talk to me about how bad Sandro is, how bad Szczesny is, that he's not good enough to be Juve's keeper. Sandro's not good enough. Artur is a mysterious object, as the Italian press would call him, wouldn't they?
I feel like Arthur is hard because I feel like...
What I wanted to say, you can say all these criticisms of the squad, absolutely. Playing them in a 4-4-2 with Rabiot on the wing is still fucking stupid.
Yes.
That's bad coaching. Any way you dress it up, and you can tell Pep Guardiola wouldn't turn this team into a Champions League winner. Absolutely, I agree. He wouldn't play 4-4-2 with Rabiot on the wing either. Both these things can be true at the same time. That's it. I will criticise Max Allegri for Max Allegri's mistakes. I won't criticise him for Alexandro being a bad left-back, for Wojciech Szczesny not being good enough to be Juve's goalkeeper, for Morata being offside and missing. For none of those problems are him. There are problems that are Max Allegri's responsibility, and I will blame him for those.
I think we're all intelligent enough to know who gets blamed for what where, and it's not going to be heaved on anyone's shoulders just because we feel like piling on. I think that we've got a bunch of issues happening independently, and also those independent issues contribute to some of the broader team issues. But yeah, I mean, Allegri is not without blame by any means. I think that we have issues there.
Okay. I heard both of you, and I want to go back because we just started. It's just an appetizer now. But a yes no question, and a yes no question. Are we doing top 4 or not at the end of the season?
Yes.
Yeah. With Max. Yeah. Top 4.
We do top 4.
Yeah.
And then, because there is Robin is asking, and I want both of you to answer. Who's your favorite one to pick? If you want, I can repeat the 6, because we have 6 possibilities. So the 6 teams that we can pick are Atletico de Madrid. When we have Bernardeschi, guys, then we need that Atletico game at least. Then you have Paris Saint-Germain, Sporting de Portugal, Benfica, Red Bull Salzburg, or Villarreal that just beat Atalanta. Who's your pick, Christine?
I'm gonna go. Man, that's hard. I obviously. No, maybe I go.
Back twice for PSG.
I go for
Right.
PSG.
Yeah,
I go for
I'm like,
PSG.
yeah, I want to go up against Messi. Yeah, I mean Messi alone. No, I'm never going to pick the team that Messi's on. That's absurd. No, that's my nightmare. Benfica, maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
believe
could do
that
that.
Allegri and the team, they are more ready to play versus PSG than versus a team like Benfica. Maybe I'm wrong.
My ideal opponent is Villarreal or is it Benfica or Porto? I can't remember.
Last season was Porto. Now it's Benfica and Sporting
Benfica.
that you have.
Sporting, Benfica, or Villarreal, a smaller team who play an up-tempo style because it takes away the excuses. If Juve get beat by PSG, we don't learn anything from that. We can have the young team, we're playing against Messi, it's really hard. And the same with Atletico Madrid, that would be
like. I mean, you're right. You're right. There's going to be too many scapegoats. If something goes wrong with PSG.
If it's Atletico Madrid, it's the same. That would be like a cage fight between Simeone and Allegri for who can.
First of all, Simeone is like my Disney villain for football, like in my head. And I just don't like he elicits.
You can see him going around kicking snowmen to pieces in Frozen 3.
Like, yes, like he just him simply being, even when he's not reacting, I want to be like, ah, so I can't, no.
But I think losing to Atletico Madrid would be the same as losing to PSG. It gives you a built-in excuse. They're a much more experienced team than us. Simeone's a good coach. Blah blah blah. If you play one of those smaller teams, Villarreal, Porto, or Sporting or Benfica, I got Porto on the brain. You don't have an excuse. And if they play that up-tempo style and beat Juve, then you have to change, right? Because this approach isn't working against the team that Juve should beat. So for me, give me those teams as long as possible. Smaller teams who want to play like Fiorentina, Hellas, Atalanta, that want to bring the fight to Juve, but that Juve should beat. And let's see Allegri beat one of those teams.
I think I stick by that. I know the comments popping up that are like, but hey, Christine, like Portuguese teams, yes, I understand, but I think that of the more manageable ones, like I think, we got to go that way. Also, it's a better test, right? So it's not.
That's what I want. I'm not saying
it's not playing on easy mode, but it's certainly more manageable because we need to scale bigger mountains than that, beyond that, right? So
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying play Sporting because it will be an easy win. I'm saying play Sporting because it will actually test this team. I don't think we would learn anything from PSG because if you look at let's say Juve draw PSG, right? How is it going to go? Juve win, PSG win. If PSG win, Juve is a young team. Allegri only just came back. They need to learn. PSG have Messi and Mbappe. They're awesome. There's no shame in that. It's okay. If Juve win, it'll be, PSG always choke in Europe. Let's see what happens when you play Bayern Munich. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's play one of these Portuguese teams and have a real test of a team who should beat Juve, who Juve should beat, but who the exact kind of team, Real, Ajax, Sporting, the kind of team that's not Juve out the last 3 seasons, the kind of team who give Juve problems in Serie A.
I believe that.
I thought about Salzburg, but honestly, I think that in terms of like playing style and otherwise, where we actually could win and still have a go at it, I think Portuguese teams are probably
last time Juve played in Salzburg twice in Europe, it was 2 draws because it was the season Juve win. It was the season Juve win.
It wouldn't do a service to everybody in the comments.
I remember
because
Conte wanted to go all in for the 102 points.
No, it was Dalnieri. It was Dalnieri that season when it was Poznan and Sturm Graz and all of that. And let's go. But I think those teams, those up-tempo teams who've really given Juve problems in Serie A and in Champions League, they're the kind of teams that Juve want to play because how else do we know where we are? There's no. Yeah, it would be great to beat Messi again. We like that. We've seen it before. Yeah. But we've also lost to Messi.
Also with Gigi. My thing right now, and like I think that of the team problems, I don't think that Tech is our guy long term, and I don't have confidence in him anymore.
In
And next year
who?
we have Donnarumma on loan anyway, so it'll all be okay.
Yeah, but like right now, I just
Who are you not trusting, Christine?
Tech.
Ah, no, he played great the last game. He had a really bad start, but he did great.
Oh,
No?
against
I say this as also an Arsenal supporter. That man still has too much gunner in him. It's just not okay.
It can be, but you know, because am I a big fan of Szczesny? No, for me he's a good goalkeeper. It's not a level as Buffon, for example, and probably
I want another Buffon.
yeah, but
I
that's not possible.
There's a reason my dog is named after the man. Okay,
Yeah,
like
but
I need that.
if you
Yeah,
compare
I need
whoever
that.
goalkeeper with Buffon, it's not possible. You know, even
No.
the transition between Tacconi, Peruzzi, and so on, you had a Van der Sar that was great at Manchester but flopped at Juve, and then you had a
Yeah.
Buffon. So I believe, you know, the goalkeeper right after Buffon would have been really, you know,
Yeah, it's hard.
it's hard one.
We
But
saw it with Manchester United after Peter Schmeichel. It's the same thing. You know, they went through Taibbi, Barthez, Bosnich, all of those guys, and then eventually Van der Sar went there and remembered how to be a good goalkeeper, which he clearly forgot while he was in Turin. But
it's true.
he did great for them, and that's where Juve will be. It'll take time. It won't be the first goalkeeper, maybe not even the second, but the answer of who replaces Buffon properly is not a guy who's in our squad right now for sure. Is
it a success if we reach quarter-finals and next year we push for the semi-final? Is it a success?
It depends on the draw. Like if you play Salzburg but then lose to Villarreal, yeah, you got to the quarters, but is that success? No. But if you beat PSG and then go out to Bayern, yeah, okay, then that's awesome. The Champions League, Allegri, it's one of Allegri's things that he always gets right. You need the luck in the draw. You can't say, oh, I hope we get to the quarters or the semis, because what if you draw Bayern in the last 16, which thankfully Juve cannot now, but...
That's one of the best comments.
I known that comment was going to swing back around to bite me right on my culo. Leave my dear Ramsey alone. We can only pick on one former gunner.
Hey! This I would just like to point out, Tarek. Sorry, this is a show about Juventus. We only talk about Juventus players here.
Thank you.
Welsh tourists who happen to live in Turin don't regularly get mentions on this show.
And he even moved because he's living now in the villa of Ronaldo. Ronaldo left. He took the. He has.
Well, he can afford it.
He can afford it. Absolutely, yes.
8 million a year to wear Juventus tracksuits. It's good money.
It's crazy with Ramsey. By the way, today apparently some agents were at the Continassa to start speaking really or continue.
Was it Dybala's agent come to sign his new contract?
No, not yet. Wait. We have time. We still have, if I count 52 days. We still have.
To count, to quote John Fox, who tweeted to me earlier in the week, I think that Paulo Dybala's agent left Argentina in a kayak because he's on his way to Turin since. Oh, he's been once though, hasn't he? He came and he left.
Yeah, no, but he came. He stayed really long, and that's why the contract of Dybala is increasing every day.
He came on a bus. Yeah. They do the whole of Italy. They loop back. They end up in Turin.
And like I tweeted earlier, what have we got? 52 days, 53 days left before he can sign for another club. We laughed. We sit here laughing, but we laughed at Milan last year for the Donnarumma and Hakan situations. It's exactly the same. Yep. It's exactly the same. Yep. This is our vice captain who loves Juve and all of that stuff. He's a free agent in 51 days. Oh, this and then it was it's going to be done before Christmas. But then they asked about it last night at the game, and Nedved said, "Oh, there's no rush. There's no rush. We've got a long time."
The last that I heard from Fabrizio Romano was that there was a handshake agreement, but there's no urgency. And to me, as someone who understands contract law, I was a little bit nervous. Like, I would be worried. Like,
yeah, but
if my intention was to lock this down and stay, I would be a little bit like, so maybe we can just slip a pen.
Dragozin also had an agreement that he would not be loaned out. Huh? if he extended. And
I
at the end,
mean,
he's at Sampdoria at the moment.
listen,
Hey, guys,
if we are kind of at an impasse, and we've already had this conversation and this scenario with Dybala in the past already a few times.
No, it's not. It's not, Abby. It's not. Ramsey, you can sell Ramsey in January. You can sell Ramsey in the summer. You can do whatever you like. You can do whatever. He's not playing. It doesn't matter. We're talking about Juve players. Dybala is the vice captain, and in 51 days, he can sign for another club for free. How is that not priority number one right now? How was that not done a year ago? Why are we talking about this?
Remember, like a year ago,
we were already speaking about
like
it.
The going back and forth about the like, we're getting rid of him. No, I want to stay. I want to stay. I want to stay. So that's really what I mean by like, we've been kind of here before where there's been this weird ambiguity, and I don't know who's pushing and pulling that this is created again. It's being repeated is what I'm saying. So I don't know what the issue is. Is it that we really don't want to hang on to him as much as we're saying we have in the past? Because
two comments just there. One, Dybala won't sign for another club, and a second one, Dybala does love Juve. Okay, maybe he does love Juve. He's not exactly proving it right now. If you love Juve, sign. If you don't want to leave, sign. Everything, actions speak louder than words, right? That's what we all know this.
A weird conflation every time there's some sort of topic of contention.
And last year, Donnarumma was like, "Yeah, I'm going to sign. Yeah."
No, that's not true. He never said that he would sign. He made it really clear that he would leave. Everyone knew.
And we all sat here laughing. And now our vice captain is doing exactly the same thing. And the thing is, and again, don't get me wrong, if he re-signs, great. But if he re-signs, it doesn't make anything we've just said wrong. Letting it go this far to...
No, we are waiting since 2 years. It's correct. Since 2 years.
His contract runs out in 51 days. That's bad business. That's bad business. Why are you letting his agent leave without having that deal done?
But it was over. It was over. Normally he should not even extend his contract if Paratici would stay, because it was a no-go. We started again with Cherubini, so it's like a new negotiation, a total new negotiation, because for Juve he was out. Huh?
The other thing I would say is, especially again for those people who've watched All or Nothing, is remember what we hear is what the club want us to hear. So the club wants us to hear that they're working on it, the agreement is close, because if it doesn't happen, then Dybala is the bad guy. Like. I agree with you. I totally agree. We do not know that the club is negotiating with Dybala. No, we don't know that, Abby. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. If it was settled, they would have a picture of him hugging Andrea Agnelli, signing on the desk, all of that. We don't know that. We don't know that. All we know is what the club tells us. The deal is close. We're working on it. His agent will come back, blah, blah, blah. Aaron Ramsey's agent comes. Nothing happens. Dybala's agent comes. Nothing happens. We don't know what is happening until it actually happens. And saying Dybala loves Juve, he'll stay. That's just a story you're telling yourself. I'm sorry, but it is. You don't know that. None of us know that. None of us know that. Because if he wanted to stay, he would have signed. You don't. The only reason he's stalling is because when his contract is up, or when it gets to February and he can sign for somebody else, he has all the leverage.
Of course.
All of it.
Of course.
All of it. The only thing that would then swing the leverage back in Juve's favour is if he got injured. Because then you would have to sign to have a contract. Because you couldn't sign for another club if you tore your Achilles or whatever, God forbid, touch wood. But that's the only way Juve get the leverage back. If it gets to February and he hasn't signed, Juve have to pay him whatever he wants or he is gone.
I have a more difficult question for Christine, but this one is really difficult. Can you give me at least 2 positives of this season? It's hard, huh?
Of this season?
Yeah. What did you really appreciate? What did you like? Next to the All or Nothing documentary. You see, this one is hard, huh?
I think that...
Hey, guys in the chat, help Christine as well, huh? Give me a bit of positives.
I'm trying to think that I can continue to be proud of Quadrado. He's still my dude, still linking things together.
He had a difficult moment at a certain moment, adapting again to Allegri. I was like,
But I feel like he's usually more up than down, right? Where I think
he's
in
back.
contrast, I have to say a few nice things about Bernardeschi now because he's been assisting at least the past few games and seems to be playing fairly well, which I don't usually say. So, I mean, like, it's the inverse of that, where, like, I feel like more often than not, you can pick on Berna because he's just there and readily available. Whereas Quadrado, I rely on more. So his errors also appear to be far more significant when he does make an error or have an off game. What else? I think that Keane is a bright spot. Oof. I think that was a good decision.
Moisken?
Yeah.
That's an unpopular opinion.
Listen, especially in the
guy.
No, I like personally Moisken, but I'm not satisfied with his performances until now. I believe he can do better, but I'm happy he's back.
What I would say sorry, Christine. What I would say is, if Alvaro Morata had 15 goals already, you would think that Moises Keane was having a really good season. But because Morata's not scoring, then you put Keane on and you need him to score. He looks bad still by extension of Morata's struggles. I think if we had a striker who was scoring really well, then Keane would look good like a backup. I like it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Also, our last game, he got 5 shots off on target. I mean, who else? We play 4-2-3-1, right? We have either Morata or Keane up top. Who are you putting there? I mean, I am the sole lifelong defender of Morata. I love him. And when he's playing well, he's great. But the problem, I think, if we have to have any sort of a criticism of the both of them, it's that they're both inconsistent, but in different ways. That doesn't make them not good or not bad. I think that they're both decent players. It's just that Morata has streaks of bad, whereas Keane, I feel like, has spotty spots.
You remember last season before we signed him, I told you that I'm not a big fan of Morata as a player. As a man, yes. As a person, I really like him. As a player, not that much.
I remember, though, when we had Keane, though, the first time, you weren't a fan of his either.
Of who?
Yeah?
Of Keane? Who? I am a big fan of Keane.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like him. I like him.
I argued with.
No,
maybe somebody else.
No, because I like Moisken really, but the problem is that, I was looking at all the stats, the heat maps and so on. We played I believe 75% of our games with our strikers that were midfielders. And that's a big problem because, they are there to do the first pressing on the man. They are playing with their back towards the goal. When they are sometimes, because for a lot of games, we're not even able to enter the box when we were playing these kind of 4-4-2 formations.
That's the problem, is Juve are playing 4-4-2, which the essential part of 4-4-2 is that there's only 2 central midfielders and everybody else plays 3.
Yes.
So Dybala goes back there, Morata goes back there.
And that's what happens. That's why I'm defending Morata and Moiskin this season. While I'm not a big fan of Morata, I'm defending him this season. I believe that the criticism is too much. Yes, it's true. He's fragile mentally, he's weak, and he gives up, and he's frustrated, and then he's not lucid anymore. I totally agree. Yeah. On the other hand, there is also, for me, a big portion that is also due to the way we are playing, because what we are asking to our striker is not to be free-minded and be there and to score goals.
And that's ultimately the thing, isn't it? This comes back to the criticism of Allegri. The coach's job is, whatever the squad's strengths and weaknesses, his job is to accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. And he's not doing that. He's making it worse. And that's killing us. It's making Morata play deep. It's making Dybala play deep. It's making...
Dybala is going wherever he wants, huh? Dybala
just likes to wander off for a chat with whoever's playing at right back. But for positives, for me, obviously we have to say Locatelli, because finally Juve have a great midfielder. He would look much better in a 3 than in a 2 again. But that's great, I think. And the other positive, I think,
I feel like he's another one that gets hung up, though, that doesn't get utilized to the best of his ability.
Again, and I think playing him as a regista is killing him, as the guy in front of the defence. As we saw in the Euros, he's so much better when he can break forward and be that extra guy. Like Marchisio. Use him like Marchisio.
But Allegri wants to use him.
Yes.
But Allegri wants to use him as a Marchisio, as a box to box, because if you see the two first games that he entered in the season, he entered because he was not in condition to play 90 minutes. He entered as a box to box versus Udinese and then Empoli. Unfortunately, not two games that were fantastic, but he was already putting some marks. Locatelli was doing already great. And I believe that Allegri has that problem that he was waiting for Arthur to take that regista role.
I agree.
And he understood really quickly that Arthur in that position is a disaster. He's not able to play.
He's not really played though. He's not been fit, and he's only just recovered. We need to give Arthur time, and always talk about loaning him out. The guy's worth 72 million on Juve's books. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Or he will be loaned out with an obligation to buy.
But the other thing I wanted to just circle back to, trying to find some positives from this season, Pellegrini. I think he's been excellent when he's come in. I really do. I really like him. I think he's got a lot to offer. He's very young, but he's useful. He's a good defender. He can get forward.
I'm not a big fan of I was not a big fan of Pellegrini. I always said he's not Juve material because he's, these kind of defenders that are liking to go offensively but not really defend and injury prone. But if he's doing what he's doing actually, I'm super happy that I was wrong. And I will admit that I was wrong. I'm super happy that he's performing because who did he play? Lazio, and then now he played super great. Defensively and offensively, and he's doing super great. I'm super happy with Pellegrini.
And Allegri's been quick to pull him off when he's not been playing well as well.
Allegri, that's one of the problems. Christine, do you believe that Allegri would have played Pellegrini if we had Alexandro De Sciglio, Quadrado, Danilo at disposal? No. Well, no. I'm sorry, Christine. Go. I'm asking the question to you.
No, I don't know. I don't think that ever would have happened. No.
He was also obliged to play him, and now he's seeing.
My other bright spot though is that just reminded me is that we actually do have an influx of youth, and I think that's a good thing, right? Even De Winter's 19? That's a baby too.
Yeah.
I think that we're finally doing
for De Sciglio last night.
Yeah, a little bit of like the rebuilding that we were supposed to be doing a few years back, because we're going to hit an impasse where we need to inject more youth. We have our grandbaby that we need to start getting in there because we have the grandpas in the back.
But I don't agree with
our average age is starting to slide up.
Oh, I said I was not agreeing with the comment of Adam, because he said he put De Sciglio in to protect the 1-0, because I was reading your tweet.
Yeah,
I don't agree. I believe it's because he wanted to, in a game like Malmo, he wanted to have him again with some minutes in the legs.
So why not put him on for Alexandro?
I don't know.
Why not put him on for Alexandro?
Because
you put him on because you wanted to take the kid off because you got scared because it was only 1-0. That's what you did.
I saw the possession. Yeah. It was crazy. I was looking at the stats of yesterday.
Yeah, it was still only 1-0, and he still subbed the kid off for.
At first time,
Mattia De Sciglio, come on.
But look, first time we had 67% possession. Second half, they had a possession with 53. They were winning possession. Passes, we were at 420 in first half. In the second half, only 217 passes. Incredible. So, the drop in second half was crazy.
You got scared and you put De Sciglio on for De Winter.
I don't know.
Bad sub. And the other thing, I just remember now, because something that Christine said, I have to ask you about Weston McKennie's diet that we saw in All or Nothing.
Oh my god. So do you remember last season how we were talking about how it was like really quite like off the cuff and like what the heck when that one comment surfaced that was like, like McKennie like is too fat or whatever, and I was like, okay, that's uncalled for. Like, why would that ever get released to anybody? And having seen in the All or Nothing his nutritionist
18% body fat as a professional athlete.
You need to eat some of this and some of that. So he's like, oh man, like, and he lists down the things that he's like chicken wings and burgers and pizza.
He was talking about putting a burger into pasta. First of all, or a brownie. And then the ranch sauce thing, I'm just like, no.
Yeah, the ranch on pizza.
Chiellini's face was epic.
It made
Even,
me honestly
even better, sorry, just one more. Even better than Chiellini's face was Demiral's face from the next table after Chiesa explained to him what he was saying. He's like, what?
Oh my
It was
god.
amazing. That is the best thing Demiral's ever done while he was at Juve.
The food bits that they talk about were absolutely amazing, but there was the one part where they were sitting again at the lunch table, and they're saying, oh, like, did you hear them booing? They're like, yeah, I heard them booing. They're like, yeah, it was mostly at us. And it's like, it pans, it looks at like Kulusevski's face, and then cuts over, and it's just like Bernadeschi sitting there like like, yeah, they were booing us. Did you hear them? Like,
Yeah. But that was a funny one. And when they were speaking about the boos and the whistles, that was really, really crazy. Because you saw. I am happy that you saw it. The face of Bernardeschi saying, "Me too, me too," because they hear it.
Me too. Like, I felt a little bit bad because it's like, obviously, that they're humans. I never thought that they were anything but that. But to see them be like, yeah, I heard that. That was at me. Like, what the heck, kind of a thing. I just, but yeah. Hopefully McKennie has. I mean, maybe that's why he started to get in more trouble. They took away his burgers, and he started
again with that. After he had been told he had 18% body fat, and he asked if that was high. So I'm not only worried about his diet, I'm worried about his math skills too. But again after that, there was a scene where he was on the table, and Igor Tudor was explaining to him that he needed to work harder, and they still didn't mention his name. They just showed it on the screen, like.
Yeah, I remember
6'5"
seeing
Igor Tudor comes in and goes, "You need to work hard. You need to train harder," and he's like, "Okay."
Like, what were they doing when he was in Germany? Is my big question. Like, what were the nutritionists and like the PT? Like,
clearly
what
nothing
was transpiring? Because remember, he was their workhorse at Schalke. So like,
I agree.
Quite frankly, I would have been like on him 24/7, making sure that he had a dietitian.
When Juve signed him, was he in Germany then, or did he come from America? I know he was playing for Schalke. I know he was a Schalke player. I just didn't know if he'd been back home and getting that good.
Went straight from FC Dallas Academy to Schalke. He never played in the U.S. system.
But what I'm asking was he in Germany when the deal went through, or was he in America for the summer? Did he come from America with 18% body fat?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes more sense. If he'd been in pre-season training with Schalke, I would have been worried. Western McDonald's.
I'm like, what do you mean? No, yeah, he was probably in Texas having barbecue.
Okay, that is a lot more understandable then. If he comes from the south with 80% body fat, I can understand.
And otherwise, they would have like gotten on him to get a more serious regimen. Because remember, when Juve approached, they had no intention of really getting rid of McKennie. They were like, hey, we'll always take him back. It's just that they were nearly insolvent because of COVID. So they're like, we have to make this decision. So just for the amount of investment they had already made in him as a player, and the work that he was doing, you would think that they would have. Oh my gosh.
You can continue, of course. We like. I'm learning. But the last time Christine was here, wait. The last time you were here, we were speaking about McKennie, that he was not performing and that we were a bit worried. He came back, and I'm happy about that. My only question to Christine, because we are saying it's the environment of Christine, is I am scared that or you put McKennie on the bench, or you put the 4-2-3-1 on the bench, because I don't see a McKennie performing in that 4-2-3-1. It's impossible because he's a more offensive type of player. He's a box-to-box that loves to go insert himself. So, as he was playing really well. So forget about a 4-2-3-1 or forget about McKennie.
She's already losing Ramsey. She's not going to say forget about McKennie as well. Come on.
Yeah, the last time she was hesitant.
I've come to terms with the fact that like Ramsey he's not performing. He's not useful as a sub.
Ramsey is the new Kadira.
he's not. Yeah, he's just not. He's not there, right?
No,
So
it's worse. It's worse.
mentally, I'm already like he's gone.
Yeah, he
I
is.
think
He is
that
Pepe. You're right. You're right.
I think that McKennie has a lot of aptitude, potential growth. I would hate to see him go. I think that there's a way to make it work. He's versatile enough. That was one of the reasons that Pirlo liked him. And that was sort of how he was being used at Schalke. I think that there's a place for him to play that will work for us. I just think that we need to find it. But that also goes to us addressing some of the other positional problems that we have where we either need someone to fill a hole that, square peg round hole or vice versa. I think that in after I've gotten done with bashing Allegri, I think that if anybody can figure that out, it's probably him.
If we answer the question of Manjiro, maybe with Adam first and then Christine, if without transfer market, with the players we have now, all healthy, because we didn't even mention one-time Chiesa, how do we play? Ideally, not with, or maybe you want to play with Rabiot on the wing. That I know, Adam. But
first name on the team sheet, left wing, Rabiot.
Yeah.
Start from there. Build the team around him. No, you have to play 4-3-3, right?
Yeah.
You just have to. You play whoever you want to. If everybody is healthy, for me, I would play Danilo, De Ligt, Chiellini, Pellegrini.
Locatelli, that's an easy one.
Locatelli easily. I would probably Locatelli, Artur, Rabiot as a 3, because I think that allows Locatelli to go and play forward. It gives Artur a little bit of protection with having Rabiot in there, and then a front 3, Chiesa obviously. Whoever you want as striker, and then the other winger. It's the thing is for me that negate, but that if we're talking about you need to hide the weaknesses, that's how you do it, isn't it? Because you have a solid back 4. You can play Cuadrado if you like. You can play Bonucci if you like. You can play Alexandro, whoever. You have a solid 3 in midfield, and then you have Chiesa and 2 others in attack. And with Locatelli joining, getting forward, Chiesa on the right, you can push Pellegrini up from the left, and then you have that 3 that Allegri likes with Danilo and the 2 centre-backs to hold the fort at the back. And for me, that's the way that you get the maximum from the squad that Juve have now. And
you didn't mention Dybala in that 4-3-3. Why?
You can play, for me, play Dybala as the 9 and put Moises Kean on the left wing. That's what Sarri did, and Dybala was the Serie A MVP as a 9. As a proper 9 who stays up front, scores goals. That's what Sarri did. He dropped him for 2 months until he listened and went and played there. And then he won Serie A MVP. He's probably our best striker too, with Morata's problems, with Keane needing still to get used to playing back in Serie A again. So you could play Kulusevski, Dybala, Chiesa if you like. You could whoever in that 3. But that, for me, that's the lesser of all the evils of trying to figure out where everybody fits in.
Deep thinking, Christine.
I'm like, because so as he started to detail that in my head, I'm doing moving my little fake figures that exist in my head like I'm playing chess. And I'm realizing that I'm just upset because he's right. Like, we're really good defensively, and I don't want to be good defensively. I want to be like an attacking team that kicks the shit out of people.
You can give them a base to go and play from though, can't you? If you have that solid defense.
Yeah, okay, maybe I am now more on the Pirlo thesis of high pressing, attacking ball.
Me too.
I love that. So now I'm just in my head tinkering around I don't know. Everybody that's shouting at me Vlahovic in the chat, I love that guy. He's really talented. I don't think that's going to happen for us.
He's only scored goals for 1 year. That's all I would say about Vlahovic before you get to it.
Think about it too, right? So sometimes it's just a matter of that one season, right? We got really, really lucky with Chiesa, and he ended up being 3 times the player that we thought he could be. how long does that last? I don't know. Is it permanent? I don't know.
Hopefully, but
yeah.
Like you talk about Vlahovic, and Vlahovic could be just like Chiesa. He could come from Fiorentina. He could be amazing. He could score 25 goals. He could be like Kulusevski and just get crushed by the weight of the Italian expression, the weight of the Juve shirt just crushes him. Like we've seen that. How many times have we seen that now? You know, how many times do we have this player and he's amazing and he's going to come to Juve and he's going to be awesome, and then he's not.
I was trying
by the
to
way,
avoid
what about Bernardeschi? Because last year I defended him every single GB World, and now
that's why he got taken off the air. There's too much Bernardeschi. The propaganda minister is like, no,
the propaganda machine must roll on.
Okay, I want a bit of I don't know, some praise, some beautiful kind words. Did you see what he did yesterday? I was about to write on Twitter, Bernardeschi bigger than Cancelo. Then I remembered that I did it with Danilo and that I received threats of death, so I said I will probably just shut up. But what a beautiful assist. Then he disappeared. Huh?
And then 2 minutes later, his next pass went out for a goal kick. So, but he had that one pass. He had that one pass. We'll always have that pass back.
It will be in his highlights when he will leave.
That will be it. Ciao Federico and a replay of that pass.
He's done.
That and his 45 minutes against Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
His contract extension is on the clock, so now he's got to start overperforming so he can go back to being extremely mediocre.
Okay, no, seriously.
Now it's time to shine.
What about the extent? Okay, now he has 4.2 million. Okay, you have
4.2 assists.
4.2 assists and million a season. Okay, well, you have three. You have three choices.
No, Ramsey already got yours.
Yeah, you have three options. You extend him at the same, because he's asking for at least the same. So extending for the same numbers. You extend him only if he goes to 2.7, because that's rumored what Juventus is offering him, or whatever, you don't extend him.
I will do if you can take out a hit on Ramsey from your own pocket, so we don't have to pay him anymore. You can keep the same money that you get now, but 4. You have to take care of that bit of business for me, and then you save 8 million if somebody kills Ramsey. Job done.
But Ramsey,
we're gonna get Yanked. Gonna be like, we heard there was a sanctioned hit on the last JV World. We'd like to bring you in for questioning.
Saved you 8 million. I'll give you a call.
Okay, let's just start from the top. So there's not so much hate on Juve players and coaches from any of us, but we are critical of them, and I think that we're pretty even keeled. Not me. Yeah, I mean, you have to be like the good cop, right? But I think that we're pretty evenly keeled in terms of criticizing players and managers across the board. I mean, I do this all the time. So does Adam. I think that we're reasonable in our assessments. Do I make a lot of jokes just poking fun? Sometimes, yes. I'll only speak on my own behalf for that. But I don't think that there's hatred in any way. I think that that's a bit much.
Yeah, I agree. There is no hate, but of course, we are speaking and we are not happy with Juventus, and it's true that we have a lot of problems with Juventus. And I continue because I don't know if you heard me when I was asking, will we finish top 4? Adam said yes, Christine said yes. I didn't answer on purpose because I'm not 100%. I believe it will continue to be an up and down roller coaster this season. We will do some winning, I'm not even saying great performance, some winning performance, but we will also have some big stop at the moment where we are not even believing that we can stop. So I'm a bit scared, to be honest. I will always support and believe, but according to me, the problem is that, and that's why I'm telling you, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever formation, the team that we have, the 25 players we have, you can move them around how you want to. There will always be a weak point. Always. You can puzzle and do whatever you want. You do 4-2-3-4, okay, you have a problem. You do 4-2-3, you have another problem. Look at Dybala. He performed.
The squad is flawed. That's what I was saying. But for the comment about why all the hate on the Juve players and coach, I actually praised Allegri at the start and said what he was good at. I said when he was good. And we're talking about Juve's problems. Why are they fifth in Serie A? Why are they not in the title race? Why did they only beat Malmo 1-0? I can sit here and tell you that Danilo is a fantastic right back, and it's a real shame that he's got injured. I think he's a fantastic player. I can tell you that Matthias de Ligt is one of the best centre backs in the world, if not the best centre back in the world, and that Bonucci and Chiellini are the best two centre backs in the world for the 10 years before that. I can tell you about how amazing Locatelli is, Chiesa is. What are we learning from this? You guys know that. You're Juve fans who tuned in to watch this. You know that. What we're talking about is, what are the problems? The problems are not how good Matthias de Ligt is or how amazing Federico Chiesa was for Italy at the Euros. The problems with Juve are some of the substandard players, the way that they're being deployed by the coach, and the negative mindset of that coach. That's the problems. That's what we're talking about. If you want to tune in next week and have us give you 25 minutes on the way that Danilo excels in the intricacies of playing right back, bring it on. I'm here all day. You want to talk about why Locatelli is better as a mediano than a regista? Bring it on.
Can I do the Locatelli PowerPoint? I'll do the Locatelli PowerPoint.
Yeah. We can talk about how Chiesa is amazing and how fundamental he was to Italy's success. But that doesn't help why Juve only beat Malmo 1-0. We're talking about reality, not the FIFA version of all these players where they look amazing and you can win the Champions League. We're talking about reality, and the reality is we've got a squad of players that is deeply flawed, that are delivering worse performances because they're being set up in a way that doesn't help their weaknesses by the coach when that's his very job. And the mismanagement of various players' contracts, which have led us to a police investigation and Paulo Dybala's expiring contract. Like this is the reality. This is the reality. And if you want to,
trust me, it's a lot more fun to talk about the team that you support and Serie A as a whole when things are really good, because you can just be like the person that shows up to hand out the lollipops.
I can also add to that, because a lot of time I receive also a lot of criticism on the channel, correctly so, because they're saying, Beppe, you are too positive. You're always positive. You are always too corporate. Guys, you wanted a bit of balance. Then we have Christine and Adam, and
I'm more than willing to shoot myself in both feet, but I'm still going to be pretty optimistic about it. That's the one thing about me is
we were saying that Juve were going to win the title with Pirlo as coach, right until it was impossible. Don't come about negativity around here.
I'm not saying that we all won't be the victim of my optimism, but we can all hold hands and cry together. So.
I just remembered one thing. It was the prediction that we were doing, and if you really want to blame someone on the fact that we lost versus Porto, it's Christine, because she predicted and she was super happy. She said we will win 3-2, and we won 3-2, but it was not enough.
Well, when she's right, guys.
That was one of the best moments ever. This is one of the
worst things I've ever done, because I had already established this legacy of she's always right, and my predictions were always right. And I couldn't take the words back fast enough. It was the most mindless. It just came out. I was channeling the Calcio gods, I guess, because it just came out of my mouth, and I was, ooh, come back. So we can blame me for that.
I remember Alessio, he had a face.
Thank you.
Sylvain Lefebvre from Canada is a great guy. Thank you, Sylvain, for the message. I remember Alessio, he was looking but no, Christine, 3-2 is not good. Yeah. Oh, that was so funny.
his face just goes.
He didn't ask what score would get Juve through. He asked what the score was going to be. She told him what the score was going to be.
It's true. Hey guys, I had an interesting question from a Fruit Pack who said, if we would bring one player from the past, a Juve player from the past that we really need in that team.
My answer to this question is always the same, Luca Vialli.
Del Piero.
I don't know if Del Piero would fit.
No, because he would be stood next to Dybala and Cuadrado.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just want him to be on the team again. Is that okay?
Vialli, because when he came...
I didn't say it would work.
Vialli or Trezeguet. Somebody who can put the fucking ball in the net.
I would go for Trezeguet, 100%.
I would go Vialli because he's my favourite, but I can see why you would go Trezeguet.
For the style points, maybe. I mean, and also being good, but...
Any striker who's ever scored 20 goals for Juve is the right answer to this question. I don't care who it is.
How do we solve this problem, striker?
Give us somebody who
When do
gets
we get
goals.
it? Now.
Give me Vialli, give me Trezeguet, give me John Charles.
But I would even go with a Tacchinardi, for example. Huh?
What? So he can play on the left wing instead of Rabiot?
Yeah. No, he was one that at least he was going on target when he was taking the ball from outside of the box.
May Rabiot never find this YouTube channel. May Rabiot never find this.
There's a few, you know. If you want to find players who fit in, you could say Zambrotta at left back maybe would make a massive big difference. Any goalkeeper who's ever been good would make a big difference.
No,
Buffon.
If we were speaking after match day 3, I would agree with you. But come on, we are in match day 16 and he didn't do mistakes anymore.
Having Buffon would still make the team better. However good Chesney is. Buffon, Vialli, Zambrotta on the left wing. Camoranesi to play on the opposite wing to Chiesa.
We take back Conte or not? Conte is also the player.
Who?
I knew.
I don't know that guy.
My eyebrows just went.
Nedved. He's a little bit too angry at the moment, though. Maybe we need to be a little bit better before we have Nedved.
Oh, by the way, did you hear some criticism towards Jurgen Klopp that let the two under, they were 18 years old, he let them play for 30 seconds in Champions League versus Milan? I didn't hear any criticism, but I heard versus Allegri when he let Matthias Soulé play 12 seconds. What was your opinion about all the criticism that Allegri received because he played him for 12 seconds?
It's a stupid thing. The problem is that people miss, and here somebody wanted me to defend Allegri, so here I go. When you decide it's time to make a sub, you have to wait for a stoppage, and there wasn't one. So I wasn't in the stadium, so I don't know when he was ready. Tevez. I don't know. I don't know when the kid was on the sideline ready to come on. So I don't know if he just sent him on when there were 12 seconds left or if he was waiting for 5 minutes before that. And the only thing I would say is if you're going to put him on like that when the game is already won, why not let him take the penalty?
But okay, I was thinking about that penalty, because of course I'm a big fan of him. I was watching him since under 19, under 23 this season, so I know him. I messaged with him on Instagram. He's a really nice kid. And I really wanted him to go in. And then I was thinking, okay, take that penalty. And then I thought he took his chance one time with the under 23. He missed it. And he was devastated for a few days.
Okay.
And it was like 3 weeks ago before that game. So I was like, maybe no. And then, if he take his chance and he scores, wow. But then you have a pressure that Allegri has to play him from the first minute. You know how it goes. If he misses it, he has no other chance to touch the ball anymore because we are already at the 95th minute. I was like, maybe it's too much of a stretch. So my first idea was take it. And then I was maybe I'm exaggerating.
I think so. I think if he was ready to come on for a couple of minutes before that and then there was no stoppages and then he finally got to play, then that's unfortunate. Thank you. But
we got a reader here.
If Allegri just sent him on purposely for the last 12 seconds, it seems very silly. Which I don't believe that he would, because if you know anything about football these days, the kid is sat on the bench in sliders and no shin pads, and his shirt is folded up on the seat in front of him. So Allegri's got to tell him to come on. He's got to put his shirt on, put his boots on, go warm up for a minute, and then come on. So it must have been there for a while. So I can only imagine that they were waiting for the stoppage, and the stoppage came when the penalty came, and then the game ended. I know the other thing, Allegri wouldn't know that the penalty was going to be the last kick of the game either. The ref could have made them restart. They could have had 30 seconds of football, and he got a couple of touches. It was just unfortunate timing, and you can't blame Allegri for that. It's like blaming for it snowing or raining or whatever. He sent him on with a few minutes to play. He got on, and then the ref blew the whistle. That's just how it goes sometimes. I think sometimes people just use things like that as an excuse to just pile on. It's an excuse to criticise Allegri for something else, and there's plenty to criticise him for without picking up on a stupid substitution that he didn't really have any power over.
For the people that are asking in the chat, the book of Adam is called Juventus: A History in Black and White. You can find it also in Amazon. I'm sure Adam is going to show the book now.
Yeah.
But guys, you can find it. It's on Amazon. I'm watching now. It's quite it's not even expensive. Not even expensive. It's a great book. It's really a great book.
It's a wealth of knowledge, but not expensive.
Yeah. Let me check if I can share it. I am not sure if I can share. No, because then I have to share all my screen here. Oh, damn. Maybe I have to change. Wait. No, I can't. I can't show it. No, sorry guys. I can't show it from here. I have to... Maybe... Adam is gone. He's back to writing his book again another time.
That's right. He's gonna add on these chapters.
Where were you, Adam? We were thinking that you would bring the book. We don't hear Adam anymore. It's over. It's over. We don't hear you anymore, Adam.
Sorry, I got embarrassed that you were saying nice things about me, so I just ran away.
Oh, okay. We're like, oh, he's going to come back with the book. We're like, yeah, there's a wealth of knowledge, but it's not extremely pricey.
Somewhere on the
Here
shelf.
we are. Here we are. I found it, guys. I found it. So
There
you go. That's how it looks like. A beautiful, beautiful book. Really well written. Guys, I really recommend you. I also had a friend who is translating it in French for his master. He contacted you, and he's every time he's saying me it's a really, really great book. So go for it, guys.
That's awesome.
It's also available in Polish randomly because Juve have a big following in Poland because of Zibiboniek from the 80s. So yeah, it's available in Poland, and it has a really cool cover in Polish too.
That's so neat. I didn't realize that. I'll have to check it out. I want to see what it looks like.
Guys, so 1 hour 17. What do you want to talk more? Is there a topic that we missed, or we keep it for in the future when we do again a beautiful late night live?
I think we can save it. I think we covered everything that is like more topical for right now, right? Like we're 5th.
One more question from the chat.
After.
I want one more question from the chat. A nice one, huh?
Yeah, come on. You guys wanted something positive. Ask us a positive question.
It's your time to shine, baby.
Yeah, come on. Now you can see how hard it is for yourselves.
And by the way, that's not the question I want to count in, but the Juventino is asking what's the credibility of the Wijnaldum reports. Guys, stop it. The guy is earning 11 million a season. Forget about Wijnaldum. We don't have the money for 11 million a season, even if it's on loan for free.
Ramsey plus Bernadeschi.
It will be the top player of the team. No. But we have to think. It's
Adam's like I feel like this is like that meme that's like, it's $11 million. Help me, my family is starving. Let me somebody who knows how to budget.
Ramsey plus Bernadeschi, 11 million.
Yeah, we are there. We are there.
And a little bit of change for Dybala's extra contract that he's definitely going to sign soon.
But we have to think about in other terms for the people that are listening, because from the moment that you go over 8 million, whoever you sign and you give him more than 8 million a season, he's the player that will earn the most in your team.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, it was not like that, because you had a Ronaldo, he had 30. So you could... But now, every player that is coming that is earning more than 8 should be your top player. Is Wijnaldum the player that will be the top? No. So I believe really forget about it.
And the other thing, if you get somebody like Wijnaldum on 11 million, you get Dybala's agent. I want 11 million.
Oh yeah.
Then you get Mino Raiola coming.
But that's
what
happened.
11 million, and I want 4.
Yeah. It depends on how high your concentration of Mino players is on your squad, because if you
how many have we got at the moment? 3 or 4? De Ligt, Rabiot, Moises Keane,
Mm-hmm.
Bernadeschi. That's
Yeah,
4.
sounds about right. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
just saying, you get like this monopoly where that man just gets to kind of work his magic, and it's like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? How do I don't know. I mean, but also, call me if you want to like manage me.
And me, call me too.
I have chosen the question.
Dybala.
Keane or Morata to start versus Venezia. Let's say versus Venezia. Who starts? Ken that scored a goal and we want to give him even more confidence, or Morata because he needs to score the goal?
Maybe both.
I'm gonna go. I'll start Morata for Venezia,
I think,
and then we'll sub on Keane.
the problem might be if it's 4-4-2 with Rabiot on the wing. That should be a hashtag somewhere. But,
why can't we do 4-2-3-1?
If Dybala plays, it's 4-2-3-1 anyway, because he just disappears far enough back until you stop saying it's 4-4-2. But Dybala may be injured, I think Allegri said after the match yesterday.
He felt a bit bad, but he has no injury. He has no injury. Ill, yeah.
So I don't know what that means.
He has no injury
yet. Feeling well.
Yeah. So
feeling well.
If Dybala is fit, I would go Morata and Dybala. If Dybala isn't fit, obviously then you have to play both. So it's not a question.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yes.
Christine's answer is McKennie and Ramsey. That's who you would play. 4-4-2 with McKennie and Ramsey.
McKennie, Ramsey, 4-4-2. I like
McKennie and Ramsey. And sorry, I don't know his name. Who's the equipment manager with the glasses? Looks a bit, it's always on the sideline for Juve. He's always waiting with the coat and the substitute board. He's going to have to be waiting there with a few brownies and cookies, keep McKennie going if he plays 90 minutes.
And Padoini
disappeared. Ranch sauce instead of a water bottle.
Listen, whatever we got to do, if we have to put some ranch in that boy's bottle, we put the ranch in his boy's bottle. Like, we'll get it done.
I want to know how he runs up and down for 90 minutes when he's 18% body fat. That's some exercise.
Right, but also, like, think about how much he's never stops moving. He's very good at that. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. He's
what are humans like? 40% water as well. So you add the fat and the water. What is the rest of him? Well, ranch sauce and pizza. We know this, but like, it's incredible.
It is.
18%.
I mean, he's also still young. So like, maybe that reallocates itself. And he picks up more muscle, but like I don't know how he does the work rate that he has based on what we now know.
I mean,
he's amazing.
We also have to say that 18%, as much as we're joking, let's be a little bit positive. That was right at the start of last season, and maybe now it's like 14.
Yeah.
Maybe or 17.5 because he didn't play.
Yeah. He did. He lost weight. He did. He slimmed up. They toned him up for sure.
The question there about Pellegrini or Sandro, I go Sandro. No, not Landucci. I don't mean him. I don't mean Landucci.
Grinta in the bottom. Yeah. Grinta, but like with a side of ranch dressing. We'll send it in. We'll send it by Amazon.
No, Pellegrini he will start because that's why he was subbed out versus the last game we played versus Genoa, because he was already booked, because we knew that Alexandro would play in Champions League. Makes totally sense. So Pellegrini will start, Cuadrado will start, then defensively I believe now it's also time to see Bonucci, even if we saw him in Champions League. So who cares about who's playing in the back? Then in the middle we'll have again Locatelli with Bentancur, I believe. So no, in the front I don't know. Anyway, we have to win. What's your prediction versus Venezia, Christine?
I think it'll be 2-0.
It's a beautiful score.
This is Allegri against one of the minnows in Serie A. It's 2-0. That's what they always are. 2-0, and it'll feel like 5-0. And then people say it should have been 5-0, and it was a fantastic performance.
The whole internet. It should have been like 15-0. What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah. And if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Guys, follow Christine and Adam, their tag, you saw it here in the beginning of the live. It was not here, but you have also the link into the description. If you go into the description of the video, you see their link to Twitter. You click on it and you are there on their page. You follow them. Give them a follow because they really deserved it. I spent 1 hour 24 of amazing time. It was a long time ago that I had really a nice debate. A lot of people were watching and I was really thankful for all the people. Arif,
thank you,
Hanin,
everybody.
Sylvain. The discussions were great. The participation was amazing. Thanks to the people in the chat, to Christine and to Adam. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to have to sit up.
Thank you,
Christine's
guys.
looking really tall.
Yeah, I sat up straight because I figured I kept looking every time Beppe would talk, and I'm like, I feel like I'm slouching. So now I've got perfect posture.
Yeah, but
everybody.
I can't follow you because my chair normally is like this, you know. So it's already at the max level every time to magic. Also, or I come closer, otherwise I can't match you guys. Impossible.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Thank you,
two guys.
everybody. It was the chat was wonderful today. Appreciate the questions. Give us a holler. We'll be around.
Oh, and last
Good
one.
night.
Christine, you can see her also on CBS, Paramount, I don't know, Paramount Plus, CBS, it's the same, no?
Yeah, I mean, yes, the streamer is Paramount Plus, but yeah, CBS Sports Galazzo. I probably won't be popping back up until the spring when hopefully I have a interesting reporting project to share with everybody, which will be fun. But otherwise, I am around.
And then Adam on podcast, always.
Yep.
Ciao, guys.